right, so we're at the bottom of the hill. The road is curving right, curving to the east, and we are going to go left onto the gravel easement road. That'll take us right back to the property. You definitely want to have all your maps printed out and your directions. I know it's tempting to just say that you'll, load the website when you get out of here and do the directions that way, but sometimes the service can be tricky, especially in some of the low-lying areas or whatnot, so it's great to have a paper copy of everything in your hand if you can, and we'll be happy to email them to you, to fax them to you, whatever it takes. And we would definitely love to email you the MapRite link for that interactive map that we use, so you can actually open that on your phone or on your tablet. Super helpful when you're coming to check out the property. Okay, so we're gonna go, it's really not too far, it's just, I don't know, a quarter mile maybe, and we'll be at the property. Probably want to plan on doing a truck or an SUV to access this one, just because gravel roads in bad weather especially can be rough, and if you hit some bad spots and need a couple extra inches of clearance, a truck or SUV can give you that. Okay, so now we're just about at the east side of the property, and as we look to the left, we see that road that goes up the steep hill. So that's the easement road that borders the south side of the property. Goes all the way to the top of the hill. So everything you see on the right side of the road is the property. Now that is a steep hill, steep trail, I should say. I mean, it looks like a road from here, but as you get further to the top, it turns from less of a road to more of a trail. You're dealing with some stumps. Just have to watch out for that. As you look at that first spot where it levels off, there is a good building site right there, or camping site. But ultimately, you may decide that you want to just take the trail to the north side and do it that way. We just got these tracks, so the guys have literally not even cleaned the logs and whatnot off the trail, and that's fine. We'll just go on foot here. I'm looking for my map. I tell everybody to bring a map and then I don't bring one. All right, here it is. Okay. So normally I'd be driving this, but since these are brand new and the guys haven't moved the limbs and whatnot, I'm just gonna walk it. So that we're actually on the property. That's not an easement road anymore, not an easement trail or anything. We're on the actual property. Now it seems to me, I've only been out here once before on this tract, but it seems to me it's got some really cool areas by the creek bed as you get a little further up. Obviously there's been no cleanup here. We've got a lot of projects now, so what we would normally do is spend a couple days out here with the skid steer or with the tractor, clean up some of these limbs, push them off into a pile or whatnot. And then either leave the pile or burn the pile. But since we have so many projects right now, we're doing this just as is, dropping the price as low as possible, and hopefully give someone a good deal on this. Now there is a ton of firewood. I mean, that's just a woodcutter's dream, because it's just sitting right there in the trail. You can pull your truck right up to it. Years and years worth of good firewood here if you want it. Trail continues on. Let's take a look at the little creek bed over here though. That's pretty cool. So this is clearly a wet weather creek that's only going to run after it's been raining, or maybe at other times throughout the year. But you've got some good gravel here. So for building projects or whatnot, or landscaping, you've got a tremendous source of free gravel. Probably a lifetime supply in that large creek bed. After a couple years, I mean, this will look completely different. Since this is the very first winter since the property's been logged, I mean, it looks pretty bleak out here. But the remaining trees, and it's hard to tell by looking at the video, but there are quite a few medium trees remaining. When these leaf out in the springtime, it's going to look completely different. I just noticed this little miniature ravine. A lot of times, if you follow these up, you'll find a natural spring. I had no idea this was on the property, but let's follow it for a little bit, see what we can see. There's clearly been water flowing through this for many, many years. Well, it goes up and up and up. Interesting. Could potentially be a spring. It's a little chilly out today. We've had a cold snap, so that none of the springs are running, but there's a real chance that there's a spring there. We'll do a drone video as well on this one. It's just so hard to really take in a property of this size. Especially from the ground. I'm seeing a lot of different sites for building or camping. I'm seeing thousands of dollars worth of firewood for anybody who wants to come in and cut it as a property owner. This trail goes on and on. I mean, talk about privacy here. It looks like it basically runs right down to the actual creek bed. Multiple building sites, so private out here. I mean, if you want to be really private, you can take that easement road to the top, and there is a level area up there. You'll have a heck of a view and you won't have anybody bothering you. Great area, great wildlife, and one of the cheaper usable tracks that you'll see. Build, camp, hunt. Very cool. InstantAcres.com. So we actually just drove up the gravel easement road that borders the south side of the property, and I thought I had the video on. I was talking, having a great time, and we got up here and it wasn't turned on. So that's looking back down the road. It was extremely rough. I had it in four-wheel drive the whole time. I probably wouldn't have needed it today, but on most days you'll need that four-wheel drive. We had to dodge some stumps. We had to watch out for some sticks. It is definitely a four-wheel drive access easement road. So please bear that in mind if you're planning on doing something here on the south side. Now on the plus side, it lays really nicely when you're up here. It's more or less level with just a slight slope down on it. We've got some awesome potential building sites and campsites. Let's see if we've got a view toward the north side of the property. I mean, you can see it was just logged. There really hasn't been any cleanup. Looking to the north there. Whoop. Gonna have some good views to the north, obviously. I mean, we've priced this very low to reflect the fact that it was recently logged. But you know, you might want to take a look at this because it's got a lot going for it. In a few years, when these limbs and everything rot away, and these remaining trees leaf out, they'll grow quickly, very quickly, without the competition from the other trees. You'll be looking at a pretty nice property. We're in a great area, lots of building sites, not too far from power and phone. You know, just a lot going on. Douglas County's fantastic. Bryant Creek is nearby. Deer and turkey are thick out here. good opportunity to get in on the ground floor on a big tract.